Hello everyone and welcome to today's assembly. Today's assembly is all around collaboration. So, last term in the new year, our actual whole school value was collaboration, and we also did an assembly on it. So, I want you to cast your mind back and think about, what does collaboration mean and how can you show collaboration? So just take a minute and cast your mind back. What do you remember about collaboration? Now, collaboration is the action of working with someone to produce something. So it's where you work with at least one other person, or maybe a group of you, in order to work on something, support each other and help each other. And here are some examples of what that could look like. You could help someone who finds something difficult, or you might want to ask others to help you. You could work together. You could raise money for a charity at home. It could be to help your parents cook. It could be work together as a family to keep the house tidy. In sports, it could be playing as a team in a sports match. There's lots of different ways to show that value of collaboration. Now, the reason we're going to look at collaboration again today is because it's part of our character skills. Now, we are currently focusing on the character skill of relationships. And within relationships, specifically today, we're looking at the substrand of collaboration. So we've already looked at defining collaboration and what it may look like. Today, we're going to look at the impact of collaboration. Why is it important? So, I want you to look at these pictures here. What do you think these things have in common? We have some swimmers competing in a race. We have some people running, sprinting in a race. We have the X Factor over there where people compete to win a singing contest. Or you got the Masked Singer, which I know many of you watched this year, where different celebrities were there competing. What do you think they all have in common? One thing they all have in common is that they are all involve people competing on their own. It's where a lot of the time people are there to compete for themselves and try to beat other people in the process so they become the winner. Now, sometimes that's what's needed, but in life, not all the time is it a competition. Sometimes, in fact, actually a lot of the time in our lives, we have to work with others. We have to collaborate, and it's not always going to be as easy as trying to beat other people. So when do you think we have to work as a team? Can you think of any examples? Now, teamwork is not just a sporting activity. It can be in all areas of life, at school, at home, in the playground, when you're dancing, when you're singing, even when you get older and you're working. So teamwork is around all of us the whole time. And we should remember that no one can become a winner by being totally alone. There are times where you're going to need help, or you're going to need to help others in order to succeed. Here are some examples of people actually needing to work with others in order to succeed. You got hospital workers there on the top left, working together, using and learning from each other the expertise and knowledge to save people. Underneath that, you've got factory workers needing to work together in order to make things that can be sold. In the middle, you've got a band. This band has to work together. You have a singer, a drummer, a guitar player, a bass player, all different people needing to come together in order to produce quality music. In the top right, you have ballerinas, a male and a female ballerina, and they're working together in order to support each other to put on a performance. And finally, in the bottom right, you've got sports team. Here's an example of one sports team, a female football team. who had to work together in order to compete and win. So, how does collaboration help? Now, I'm actually going to show you a video. This video is from Finding Nemo. And I just want you, whilst you're watching the video, I want you to think about two things. When the fish are caught, how successful were they before they started to collaborate with each other? And then when you think about when Nemo came along and told them all to swim together, then how were they successful after they collaborated? So when you think of two things, were they successful and how were they successful before the collaboration, or weren't they? And how were they successful after they collaborated together?
Be okay. Turn around! You're going the wrong way! Look out!
To do.
Nemo, no!
We have to tell all the fish to swim down together.
Get out of there now!
I know this will work.
No, I am not going to lose you again!
Dad, there's no time. It's the only way we can save Dory. I can do this.
You're right. I know you can.
Lucky Finn!
Now go! Hurry!
Tell all the fish to swim down.
Well, you heard my son? Come on!
Dory, you have to tell everybody to
Swim down together! Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Swim down!
Everybody swim down! Come on, you have to swim down! Swim down, okay?
Down! Swim down! Swim down! Swim down! Don't give up! Keep swimming! Just keep swimming! That's it!
It's working!
Just keep swimming! Keep swimming!
Come on, Dad!
You're doing great, son!
That's my dad!
Come on, let's get to the bottom! Keep swimming!
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
Almost there! Keep swimming!
So, can you see that by working together in that film, the fish were able to collaborate and escape being caught? And they only managed to do that by working together, because when they're working on their own and they're all swimming in different directions, they could not create enough pressure or weight in order to escape. Now, we may think that's a cartoon, so that doesn't happen in real life. But we're going to have a look at real examples of where animals do have to collaborate and how it helps them. So, I have two pictures here. I have pictures of penguins and a pack of wolves. Now, penguins have to collaborate. They collaborate by huddling together to keep each other warm during the cold winter months. If they did not work together, collaborate and huddle together, there could be potential that they would freeze. Wolves, in order to protect each other, they actually go and hunt together, and they stay together as a pack of wolves, and they do this so they know they are more successful as a team. That is why it is very rare that you see a wolf on their own. Now, some of you may have seen this in the sky. You've got a pack of geese, and sometimes they'll form this V formation. Now, the bird at the front of the V, the pointy bit, that's a bird that's leading. And that leading bird gives a direction, all the birds follow it. And the reason to create the V is because after the front person, you've got the next two, then the next two, the next two. But by doing that formation, by the birds flapping their wings, it's actually supporting the birds at the back. So when the leader gets tired, the leader will fall and go to the back of the V, and someone new will go along. And they take this in turns. So the birds are always moving to slowly take the lead, but by doing so, they're supporting the birds at the back who may be tired, who may be a bit weaker, and by creating extra force at the front, the birds at the back don't have to do as much in order to fly. They're being supported. So this is another way that in the real life, animals collaborate in order to help each other and succeed. Here's a picture of a meerkat. Now, meerkats in the wild, they go hunting and foraging for different food. But meerkats can be prey. So you'll always find at least one meerkat perched somewhere, keeping a lookout. And this meerkat, just like this one here, is looking around to see if they can find any predators. And if they do see any predators, they make a noise, so all the other meerkats are fully aware. So they work together to make sure they are going to be kept safe. And here we have ants. Now, ants have to go and collect food in order to survive. Now, ants are really tiny, and a lot of the food is extremely heavy for them. So as you can see in this picture, but also in the video, that ants have to work together in order to collect the food. So lots and lots of ants work together to pick up sometimes one piece of food and carry it along. And they take it to their ant nest where they all then can feed on it. So again, this is another example of how ants and other animals collaborate together in order to succeed. So let's have a think about those animals and remind ourselves of the ways in which they work together. You had penguins huddling together to keep warm. You had wolves collaborating to protect each other from other animals. You had meerkats keeping an eye out so when they go foraging food, they can protect each other from other predators. You had geese forming a V formation that in turn took the lead to support other geese that may be more tired. You had ants working together to collect food. These are all different ways animals work together to survive. Now, a lot of the time, animals do work together for survival purposes, but there are times humans need to do the same thing. And many of us enjoy that teamwork because it's aimed at helping others. Now, sometimes we may benefit from it, and sometimes we may not receive any material benefit. That means we may not receive money, or we may not receive a product at the end. But actually just doing that teamwork and knowing that we have helped or been part of a team is enough to make us want to do it again. And this can also include fundraising for charity or helping other people in different ways. So, thinking about this assembly here, I want you to reflect on these 3 questions. How and where can you work in a team or with other people? Are you a good team player? What do you think are the skills and qualities needed to be a good team player? We looked at some of them with different animals. What do you think you need? And also, what can we do that will help us to work better in the teams in which we're involved in? So what can we do to ensure that our teams are going to be as successful as possible? So as we go to finish the assembly today, I would like you to think about those 3 things there and how you can show that character skill of collaboration and relationships as well as our school value. Okay. Well, have a good day, everyone. Bye.